Hey guys, thank you very much for joining me. Good evening. This is your one and only Waka Waka Doctor, bringing you the best of migration and travel all around the world. You know how we do it here. We share information with respect to moving abroad. So irrespective of where you want to go to, this is the channel you need to be. On my YouTube channel, you would find several videos that I've made with respect to moving abroad, whether through academic route or through job opportunities. So whether it's the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, France, Germany, Poland, Portugal, Ireland, Spain, Italy, Georgia, and Belgium, Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, any country you can think of at all, you'll probably find a video on my page that describes it. Today, we're talking about Finland because Finland is open right now and you can travel to Finland if you want to. You can move to Finland if you want to. And today we'll be talking about step by step, how to do it step by step so that you can do it on your own and you don't need to pay anybody, because if you want to pay me, I'll take your money. Okay, so this is to educate you as to how you can do it step by step. All right. And just the way I always do it, I bring up someone who lives in that country, who's passed, through the process and can educate you with how to do it. So stay tuned, listen, pay attention so that you can do this on your own as well. All right, I'm going to bring up my guest straight away so that we can do this together. And I will bring her up straight away. Okay. Just give me a minute. Hoping that she would join us now. So today we're talking about, hey, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome. It's good to see you.
Yes, and you too.
How do you say how are you in Finnish?
Mitakulu.
Mitakolo.
Yo, you say moving kitos.
No, that one is too much. Just let's keep it as Mitakolo.
Yeah,
Mitakolo is fine.
that works. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's been a year plus now since
Yeah.
we last had this interaction and talked about Finland. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that it would be good for us to, talk about it again, seeing that Finland is open again and people can start planning on how to move to Finland. So, just the way I always like to do it, can you just give a brief introduction of yourself and tell people how you actually moved to Finland?
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Tife. Bolu Tife, and I moved to Finland in 2017, which has been like about 5 years ago. And I came here to study my bachelor's. So I moved here by study, and obviously studying is like the simplest or easiest way to actually migrate to Finland. Yes.
Wow, so that's Bolchifer. She's been in Finland for 5 years and
Mm.
she moved via the study route, which is fantastic, So Bolchifer, people who want to move from Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, wherever they are, what are the documents they need to have on ground? They need to have those documents, otherwise everything will be futile. What are the documents you need to process admission? You did say that the easiest way to move to Finland is via the academic route. So what are the documents you need on ground to be able to process this?
I would first of all say like the requirement for bachelor's is a little different for the requirement for masters, and also there's like two kinds of universities in Finland. I'm almost sure like people are confused. So there's the University of Applied Sciences and there's like the university. So for bachelor's, the best kind of university for international students is University of Applied Sciences, and that's because for a university they ask for the language, and which of course if you're coming from Nigeria you probably would not understand Finnish language. But for masters, which of course if you're coming from Nigeria, of course you can try to apply for university, but university is actually the best because for University of Applied Sciences for masters now they ask for they ask for experience, so they want you to already have some kind of experience, job experience. So if you've been working for a long time, yeah, you can apply to University of Applied Science for masters. So it can be a little confusing, but it's important to note those facts as well. So now I'm going to say the important documents. So another thing about Finland, very confusing, is that every year they change their requirements, and the requirements are school specific. So for example, there's like two similar scenarios. Two people apply for nursing. One was like 3 years ago and one was this year. And the one that was 3 years ago, they asked for motivational letter. Then the one for this year, they asked for motivational video. So that's why I can come here and state like you have to do this, but you still have to confirm yourself when you're applying. So this is just a very basic thing. So having said all that, I would say very importantly, you need your living schools. Is it called living school certificate? High school
Yeah,
certificate.
yeah.
Or what they need actually. Then you would need a motivational letter or not, okay? And you will need IELTS or not, IELTS or any other English proficiency certificate or not. And I'm saying or not because there are cases where they don't require that. Some schools will just say, oh, this year we decide that we don't need that. So it's very possible for that to happen. So those are very important things. And after the whole admission process, there would be the whole immigration process. So do I talk about the documents for that as well?
We will get there. We will get
Okay.
there. So at the moment, you're saying you need, of course, international passport,
Yeah.
your living school living set, motivational letter or not,
Or not?
and of course, you need what's called IELTS or not.
Yes.
And
Oh,
if
what
you're going for masters, of course, you're going to need the transcripts of your undergraduates, correct?
I wanted to say that. So for masters, you need your transcript. You also need a CV. Because when I applied for my master's, I was required to have a CV, which of course is the basic form of CV in any case. However, it could be or not. Probably some school would not require it. So yes, including the
Okay.
like that.
Let me ask you this.
Mm.
Finland is a bit confusing for me. When
Yeah.
when are the opening times? When are the opening?
Mm.
Because sometimes you say, okay, this university is open, others are not open. This time it is open. Vocational schools are open. So what's
Yes.
what's the opening time in Finland?
I'm asking the same question, like, what's your deal? Okay, Finland can be very, very confusing. And to think that everything belongs to the government, there's no private institution, but in any case, they can have several admission period. For example, they have the autumn admission period, which is August, which I think it just ended or something like that. So then they can also have winter admission period, which starts in December and then ends in January. They could have additional admission period, which is like they just think that, you know what, we need more students, let's just do some admission. That was how I actually got in. I used the additional admission period. So all the best thing to do is to just keep your antennas on all the time, keep checking their website, because one particular school can just say, okay, you know what, let's run an admission period. They can call it like exceptional admission period. So they basically do not have one particular way of doing stuff. They just decide like,
And
okay,
some schools are open right now, correct?
schools are open. Sometimes I'm surprised, and they don't even announce it. You just go on their website and see that, oh, we're having like an admission period, and you're surprised. So
Wow.
check it.
Okay, let's talk about the meat of the juice of the matter now. So I don't know anything about Finland. I want to come to Finland,
Yeah.
and I assume that these courses are taught in English,
Mm.
for undergrad and masters, correct? In English, right?
Yes, there are courses, yes, in English and
Okay. So tell us step by step. I don't know anything about Finland, but I want to go to Finland. Tell us step by step how to apply and have our admission.
okay. Before I go to the step by step, I would just say like I see people ask like, oh, do you have an agent or something? This is something you can do yourself. Of course, having an agent makes it easier for you, but I did it myself. People I know did it themselves. So this is something like everybody can do themselves. So I have a document here which I actually posted on my Instagram. So it's very easy for people to see it. So I'll read it out. So the first step is to have a course in mind. So objectively just have something in mind, like, okay, I want to study, say, medicine. Okay, almost not possible to study medicine in Finland, but say you have a mind to study medicine. So what around medicine can you study? If you have psychology, you have nursing, you have this kind of things. So you already have like, okay, around this course I want to study. So that's the first step. Or else if you go straight to checking the schools, you can get confused in different courses. That's where confusion starts. So first you have what you want, then you search the schools that fit your budget and your course, of course. So it's easy to go and search studyinfo.fi, which of course is like the general website, but
Study what?
studyinfo.fi.
Studyinfo.fi. Okay, that's the website you want to go to. All right, go ahead.
However, I would say the app that I would tell people to use is study nursing in Finland or study nursing in English in Finland. So that actually filters out all the schools that is in English and that is in Finland. So if you go to studyinfo.fi, you will see the ones that are in Finnish, you'll see the ones. So it's like you have to filter it out yourself. So easily just study nursing in Finland, or if you want to study business management in English in Finland. So that kind of filter out, most of the things. And then the next step would be check out the requirement and eligibility. So actually, before the requirement and eligibility, I would like to say that schools that are around the capital of Helsinki, of Finland, which of course is like that in any other country, are the more expensive school. However, there are also these kind of schools with more opportunity where you can get like student jobs and things like that, and people that speak English. While schools that are far away from the capital,
Capital City.
they are cheaper. However, they have less opportunity and probably less population. So you have to weigh out, okay, can I actually stand this for the lesser money and things like that. So this is something to keep up in your mind. And if you don't know the capital of Finland, just check capital of Finland, which is Helsinki, of course. So then you check out the requirement and eligibility. This is important because, like I said earlier, it changes all the time. So it's good to always check it all the time. So that's basically it. Then you apply. Say you have your IELTS and everything. It's good to check beforehand so you can already like take the IELTS exams and things like that. So I would say while you are applying, even before you get admission, you should check out the requirement for the immigration process so you can prepare everything. So immediately you get the admission, you start applying for immigration, because something you need to know is that the immigration and the school, they're so totally different. So if the immigration is taking time, the school can say, you know what, we can't give you admission anymore because you're taking so much time. It wasn't your fault. So they expect you to keep up with these things. So those are like the main things to keep in mind, actually.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. For someone who's asking if it is only sciences courses they offer, I mean, we're just giving an example. They have loads and loads of courses in Finland, please. It's not just science courses. I'm going to ask you very short questions before we go into a very longer one. People that have second class lower, for instance, I want to do masters, okay? And people that have higher national diploma that want to do masters, is this possible?
It's almost not possible because they have this for example, I can't really tell what is second class lower or whatever, but I know that in Finland it's 3.5 CGP. Is that second class?
Okay, so anything less than 3.5, no space.
That is like, it's possible, but they'll choose the upper one first. They wouldn't say you should. I remember when I was applying for my master's, some course will literally say don't apply if you have less than 3.5. Like they won't even consider you. While some courses will say we would pick these people first before we consider these people. So if you have 3.5 and above, you have higher chance of being admitted. And for HND, that's totally not possible. For
Not
bachelor's,
possible.
it's possible, but for masters, not possible.
So if you have HND, you have to do bachelor's all over again.
Yes.
Okay. Now that's very good. Is it possible to move with family if you have family and you want to come?
Yes, that's possible. 5 years ago, that's not possible. You have to first of all come here, do whatever you want to do. But now the good thing is that they are opening up. It's possible. And family in the sense that, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. So, and family in the sense that children and spouses, not parents or siblings. Those are unfortunately not considered family in Finland.
Okay, okay. Concerning the 3.5, guys, she's talking about 3.5 over 5. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about people can work while they study, you know, and I'm sure they said Finland has increased the quota now.
The people can, what do you mean quota? Do you mean like the
I mean, before it used to be 20 hours per week, but I hear it's now 30. Is that correct?
yeah, I hear it's now 30 as well. And but one thing to know is that if you have a job that is related to your studies, say you're doing, if you're studying say for example business management, okay, and you have a job that is like research assistant, or you're working in the school, or something that's related to your studying anyways, is you can work 40 hours per week. That's not,
40 hours.
you can
Wow.
work 40
Okay.
hours.
Okay. Talk us through. I have an admission now in Finland. I want to go through immigration. Talk us through how to get the visa.
Okay, so the most important, very most important, is the finances. They are looking for the to know that you can take care of yourself when you come here. So while you're worrying about everything, just make sure your finances is all right. And the finances was, I think, now the exchange rate is very crazy, but in euros it's 6,500 euros you have to have in your account.
6,500 euros.
Yes, for 1 year permit. Now they are giving 2 years permit. So that will be 6,500 times two to have in your account. I don't know if they still give the 1 year permit thingy, because they were contemplating on stopping one time. But if you are choosing to apply for 1 year permit, so 6,500 euros, you have to have in your account. And if your sponsor is sponsoring you, of course, the sponsor has to send the money to your account and make sure that there's no suspicious transaction and things like that. That's very important. And also, they are looking. Oh, I'm trying to remember. So the finances is important. You book it. Okay, let me walk you through the important thing. You go first to book a date, or like to fill in the form actually. So when you fill in the form, you put in the old finances stuff and everything. They ask you questions, then you book your date. So on the day that you go to book your date, or before the day, they already check your finances. They're checking your account sometimes, because they randomly check account, and they can randomly call your sponsor even to just check like the story matches up. So on the day you go to for your identification, they can ask you random questions. So I'll tell people like they should know random things about Finland, like what's the population of Finland, or like what continent is, what part of Finland is in Europe. They ask me those questions specifically, like what part of Finland is Europe. And so just try to know little things about Finland and little things about your sponsor as well. You can't totally not know your sponsor, and if you don't know, just say, you know what, I don't know. So just be honest in any way. If there's something that looks suspicious, explain it. They like honesty and transparency. That's important.
Wow, fantastic. I have just one more question for you.
Okay.
What's the average fee like? I know, Finland used to be free many years ago, but I know it's no longer free.
So,
And I know that some courses can be very expensive, while some courses are very cheap. And Finland is a place where you can get 50, 70%, discounts. But what are the fees usually like, and how can people apply for those discounts?
the fee is usually like 8,000 to 14,000, depending on if it's masters or bachelors. So here is the tricky part for the scholarship, is that while you're applying for bachelor's or master's, that's when you apply for the scholarship. So it's not like you applying for scholarship in a specific or special way. So that's why I just say be brave enough to apply at first. Just apply, and then you just see a little box. Do you want to apply for scholarship? Yes, that's literally it. You're not hustling for anything or applying in a separate thing. So just apply at first. And at first it was very easy to get the scholarship, but now I think they check your grades, they check how fast you pay your school fees. I think if you pay your school fees in a certain amount of time, they return a certain amount of parts and things like that. And again, the requirements are different on school specific. Also, it changes year on year. So I can't really come and say, okay, you know what, you can get 50%. It's possible, but also it's not something they do like consistently. They change their policies year in, year out.
Year in, year out. Wow, fantastic one, Bolutife. Bolutife, that's a handle underscore BOLUTIFEH underscore. You can find her here on Instagram. And what she does, she lives in Finland. She's been in Finland for 5 years. Bolu, you should be on your way to getting a citizenship now. Is it not true?
I am on my way, but the thing is that you need to know the language. So I'm still struggling with the old language
Yeah,
thing.
but you just told us Potiko, Abi. What did you say just now? Montiko or
Yeah,
something like that.
I can speak the language, but you have to understand the language to get the
Yeah,
citizenship.
don't worry, you would get it. You're very close, you would get it. But thank you very, very much for sharing this information. Studyinfo.fi is where people need to go to get admission in Finland. You can apply to as many schools as you want. You can apply for scholarships. And we've discussed a whole lot here. Thank you so much. Bolutife is a name, and I've just pinned a handle there. It's underscore BOLUTIFEH underscore. You can always send her a DM if you're confused or you need clarifications. You can watch her videos as well. She talks about Finland a lot. Thank you very much, Bolu. Hopefully we'll do this again in another 1 year when things have changed again.
Yeah.
All right. Have a lovely evening. Thank
And
you.
bye.